What's going on, Devoted Geeks? Welcome to King of the Monsters.
No!
What?
It's over.
Please.
It's over.
Please.
King of the Monsters month is over.
One more week. One more.
Okay.
Yes. Welcome to King of the Monsters month. Plus 1 week. What's going on, Devoted Geeks? Welcome to Geek Devotions, a show from a couple Devoted Geeks devoted to let people know that they're loved. My name is Dallas Moore, and I'm so glad that you hit the play button. Do me a favor, if you like today's episode, make sure you hit the like button and consider subscribing and become a fellow Devoted Geek, alright? And also do me a favor, next to the subscribe button is a little bell symbol. If you click that, you'll be notified every time we post a video, because sometimes, let's just be honest, YouTube doesn't let people know when things are happening, so make sure you hit that bell symbol so you stay up to date with us. Speaking of being up to date, don't forget to check out Devoted Geek Life on Facebook. It's a great place for Devoted Geeks to do life together on the interwebs. Now, let's get into today's subject. As you can probably tell from the intro, we're extending the King of the Monsters month by 1 more week. We just had so much great content, we couldn't just not do this. So today is going to be a geek devotion based around Godzilla. Which Godzilla? Shin Godzilla. If you're unfamiliar with Shin Godzilla, it is the latest Godzilla to come from Toho in many, many years. Not necessarily related to Godzilla from 2014 or 1998, but it is, like, in my opinion, the rightful heir to the name Godzilla. And let me tell you guys something, it is grade A, fantastic work. In this amazing retelling of his origin story, Godzilla emerges from the sea and he's in this strange form. And over the movie, you see him evolve, adapt from form to form to form. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but let me just tell you this. His adaptation is purely due to the situation that he is in. And eventually at the end of the movie, he gets to the massive Godzilla that you and I all know and love and fear. Let's be honest, I'm kind of scared of this one. This isn't your cute cuddly Godzilla. No, this is one that you go, ooh, I'm scared. But this movie was really, really cool, guys, and I want to encourage you to check it out. Celeste and I will be talking about it and all the other ones we talk about all month long on this week's Comm Talk coming out Sunday and last Sunday. If you want just in-depth conversation about this particular Godzilla, Shin Godzilla from 2016, check out our Comm Talk episode with Paul J. Powers from Retro Rewind Podcast. There might be some links down below for you to check that out. Now, I'm not an expert like my friends over at Kaiju Vision Radio on Godzilla, but I am a pretty big fan, and to date, I've never seen a Godzilla morph and adapt to situations quite like this one did. In this very first form, you see just this kind of this tail sticking out of the water, and it's this aquatic being, and then all of a sudden he has legs, he's crawling on land, and then all of a sudden he's standing up and he's roaring, and then he comes out later in his fourth and final form where he's this gigantic towering monster with scary fire breath and laser beams coming from his dorsal fins. I just hit my microphone, and that's how scary it was. It was a trip, but it was so cool to watch him adapt to his situations. And as I watched that, I begin to think about ourselves as human beings, and we go through situations time after time, and we have to learn to adapt. And I begin to ask myself this question: does that really make us different? Take a moment and really think about that question. Does it mean that you're a different person if you've adapted to a situation that you're in? I'm going to say no. You're still the same individual. It's just that you've had to adapt in that situation to better perform and do what you're supposed to do. A great example of this, in my personal opinion, is Joseph from Genesis. You may be familiar with him from cartoons and all kinds of crazy movies that are out there, but Joseph started off as he's just a little boy, really, and he happened to be the favorite son. And in this state, he was, kind of a go-lucky kid who maybe had a little bit of a bragging problem. Can I just say that? Just a little bit of a bragging problem. So much so that his brothers took him and they threw him into a pit and then sold him into slavery. In slavery, he was sold to a man named Potiphar, where he ended up becoming kind of like the manager of the house. He was still the servant or slave of Potiphar, but he managed the house. He took care of things. And then out of that, because of some, crazy lady out there, he ended up in jail. And being in jail, he went from being a slave to a prisoner. And then out of prison, he became something amazing. He became the number 2 guy in all of Egypt. This evolution, this adaptation through his life, each stage of life, he took on a different role, doing different things. But he was still Joseph. He was still a man that honored God. He was still a man who still put God first and lifted him up and honored him above everything else. Sure, as a son, as a favorite son, he had the high life. He didn't have to do some of the labor work that his brothers did, but he still honored God in what he did. And then when he became a slave and he was in the house of Potiphar, he still honored the Lord. He had a lot of hard work he had to do. He had some backbreaking work he had to do, but he honored the God of the universe every step of the way. And then he becomes a prisoner. Talk about a downgrade almost. But in this situation as a prisoner in a prison and having to do all kinds of things and interpret people's dreams and interpret the rulers and then just being forgotten and left destitute alone, he was still Joseph. He still honored God. He still put God first no matter what. This is what Joseph did. And then we meet our final adaptation. The second in command of all of Egypt, Joseph. This is a position where you would think, he was literally from the bottom, now he's at the top. He could be a very different individual. He's here, guys. He's running the show. People have to answer to him, so much so that his own brothers who sold him to slavery had to come to him asking for help. And this was an opportunity for him to do something different, put himself first. But he doesn't. Does he? Puts God first. He honors God. See, even though he adapted to the situation he was in, even though he took on a different role and did different things at different times, he held on to the core thing of who he was. A son. A son of God. So I want to encourage you guys, wherever you're at, wherever you are, whatever obstacles you are facing, and you're having to adapt, just like Godzilla did. And sometimes there are things dropping on top of you, and you just gotta shoot a laser out the backside. That got weird, I know, but don't. My camera lady, my beautiful wife, is laughing at me. But no matter what it is, hold on. Don't lose track of who you are. See, God loves you and He cares about you and He has this great plan for you if we submit to Him. And if we hold on to that, even though we may have to adapt for situations, if we hold on to the core of who we are, a son of God, a daughter of God, whoever you are, guys, He will bless you. He'll take care of you. He'll help you get through the situation. There's a misinterpretation out there that God will open doors and like nothing ever happened, but the scripture actually says, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13 says this: "No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful and He will not let you be tempted beyond your ability. And with the temptation, He will also provide a way of escape that you may be able to endure it." See, He does make a way of escape, but notice that last word, that you will be able to endure it. Sometimes we have to go through things, and it will make us better. We'll be able to do greater things because we've been able to endure and get through it. It's increased our faith, and we have perseverance now. We have character building things. There are scriptures galore that speak to this situation. But the key is holding on to the core of who you are, a son and a daughter of God. So that's your encouragement, guys. Remember who you are. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Geek Devotions. This week's question of the week is really simple. Towards the end of the movie, spoilers by the way, it looks like Godzilla maybe adapting again. If that's the case, what would you like to see added to Godzilla? What kind of aspect of him? Wings, or maybe you want to see him like turn into a fish again, or what? What do you want to see happen to Godzilla?
We want wings. Needs to be a flying dragon.
So,
if you enjoy us and you think, hey, I could be friends with them, well, you have the opportunity. We have a community page attached to our Facebook called Devoted Geek Life, and we would love for you to come and join and be a part of our general conversations. It's nothing super serious. We may from time to time use the group as a sounding board for future things with Geek Devotions and Comm Talk, but for the most part, it's just general fun. So come have fun with us.
Absolutely. Also, don't forget about this Sunday for Comm Talk. We're going to be talking about Shin Godzilla. We're actually going to be reading the article we wrote for Geeks Under Grace, but we're going to be expounding on it at the exact same time. And then, Extra Tuesday special guests. Celeste, who are our guests for Extra Tuesday?
They are the two co-hosts of Kaiju Vision Radio.
Oh, we're super excited about having them on, guys. And I can't wait for you guys to be able to see the faces behind the voices of your favorite kaiju monsters. So, that's going to be a thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be coming out early Tuesday morning.
Did you just call them kaiju?
No, they're the voices behind the Kaiju Monster radio show.
Yes, but that's not what you said.
Oh, well, that's what they do. So, anyways, guys, that's about all we have for you today. Hope you enjoy this week's episode.
Stay devoted.
Peace and love.